Tomorrow is Arbor Day, and planting a tree is the perfect way to celebrate.
What are your other choices, right? I mean, it's Arbor Day. So a little earlier, we Skyped with Doug Danielsen of Bachman's. Find out what you need to know about adding trees and shrubs to the landscape.
Hey, Doug, thanks so much for joining us today. Are we time? Is it ready? Are we okay to plant our trees and shrubs right now?
Yeah, spring has sprung, and it's with Earth Day yesterday and Arbor Day tomorrow. It's a great time to plant trees and shrubs in the landscape.
What's the key? Is it the soil temperature is good, or is it you just need it to not be frozen down there?
Just not frozen, and a lot of people are intimidated by planting a tree, and just with a few easy steps, it's pretty easy to do. It's first thing you got to do is make sure that you have the right tree for the right site. There's fruit trees, there's shade trees, there's ornamental trees, and you just want to make sure that you got the right plant for the right site.
So Doug, here's one of the dilemmas that we have is there's not a lot of space in our backyard. How much space do you really need?
You really have to look and talk to a professional about that and see how big the tree grows, and if you have 15, 20 feet, you want to make sure you get a tree that's going to be that size for you.
All right, let's talk a little bit about how you prepare the soil, because you have some of the steps right with you there, right?
Right. The first thing you want to do is before you dig a hole, call 811 to make sure you have all your utilities marked. And you want to dig the hole about 10 inches wider than the ball of the tree right there. And before you plant it, you want to make sure you rough up the roots there to make sure they'll grow out. You want to mix in a little compost with it, a little plant starter fertilizer, and really just easy to plant. The other big thing you want to do is make sure what kind of soil you have. If it's a clay soil, you want to make sure you plant it about 4 inches high. If it's a sandy soil, you want to plant it about 2 inches high, and that will help the tree survive. And then the last thing you want to do is just put a little hardwood mulch around it, and that will hold the moisture in so you don't have to water as often.
So there you go. Once you get the tree into the ground, how much watering are we talking about?
They usually take about a 1 inch of water a week. It all depends on if we get a lot of rain, you don't need to water it. If we don't get, if it's hot and sunny and a little more dry, you might want to water it a couple of times a week. But a good rule of thumb is 1 inch of water a week.
Yeah, and Riley has a fair amount of rain in the forecast over the next 7 days. So honestly, not a bad time to get that tree in the ground and take advantage of some of that natural watering.
Correct. Yep. It's a lot less maintenance to plant them in the springtime when there's the natural water. Now,
you guys are still doing this kind of work, right? Because like you said, if you want to plant a larger tree, I'm not digging that hole. You know what I mean? It can be a large hole that you end up digging.
That's correct. Yeah. We have trees that weigh up to 1,000 pounds, so you're going to need a machine to move them, and you want to make sure that a professional could install that for you.
Yeah, very good. Sometimes, if you're lucky, Karen Bachman will come out and drive the thing.
Good on the machinery?
Yeah. That's right.
I knew that about her, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Well, very good, Doug. The greenhouse looks good. You're down there in Lakeville where everything's growing for the season, right?
That's right. We'll be shipping product to our stores all week.
Oh, you're making me jealous by just standing there. It looks great. Doug, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.